got the vibe, yeah, we got the flow. Jeff Foxx, taking you behind the mic, keeping you in the know. Where the real stories are told, where the truth and the soul unfold. Now you know, it's the Jeff Foxx Show. Behind the Mic podcast.
Hi, everybody. This is Tony Harris, and you're listening to the Jeff Foxx Show Behind the Mic podcast. Do it, baby. Do it.
I don't even know if I could do this.
Why not?
How do you do a serious conversation with somebody you've known for so long and it be serious?
Well, you don't make it serious. I think that's the point.
Okay.
You don't make it serious.
All right. But when it comes down to it, you're a serious kind of guy. Is that right?
Because, you don't often get the perspective of dear friends because everybody's got their lives and we get together and we just focus on the fun and stuff.
Right.
Do you think my persona is one of being a serious guy?
No.
Thank you. So take it back.
But you know what? You may have a lot of people fooled. So this is Tony Harris, okay? Get a little backstory. I've been knowing Tony Harris since the beginning of my radio career.
Yeah.
In 81, I met Tony Harris. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is in Cleveland at a little station called WJMO. But we're going to take it back further than that because Tony Harris is, to me, he's a national treasure.
That's kind.
The responsibility of delivering information to the people of this country, Tony Harris has done all of that, and he's still doing it. But we're going to go all the way back.
Oh, my.
To find out who is this guy, Tony Harris, that you've been watching for years on Entertainment Tonight and CNN, and the proof is out there on the History Channel and all of these other radio stations and television stations and a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to take that Lord. Tony Harris ride. That's what we're going to do today. Tell the folks, where are you from, first of all?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, man.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm from Hood, Baltimore. I am West Side Baltimore all the way. West Side Baltimore. Yeah.
You don't come off as a rough and tough guy, but is Baltimore as rough and tough as they portray it to be?
So I will tell you, I've worked to take some of the edge off.
Right.
And my brother, I know where you're from in Cleveland, too. So you've done the same work that I've done to take some of the edge off. You are not always as polished as you are now, the Fox that rocks the box. Okay? So we've both got that in common. We come from some rough spots in some rough cities and some rough urban areas. But yeah, I mean, when I grew up, Baltimore was great for me. I loved it. I didn't know what I didn't know. So, I never characterized it as being difficult, hard, or whatever else. It was my home and I loved it. And I was just trying. I knew at a certain point that I probably needed to get out.
Right.
In order to do some of the stuff that I wanted to do that was in my head and heart. It wasn't until I went back to Baltimore to anchor kind of in the 90s that I really saw what had happened to the city and how difficult things had become for folks who were living in Baltimore. And that was at the height of heroin abuse and crack cocaine. And the city in a lot of ways is still, close to 30 years later, still fighting through a lot of that. I think they've got a young mayor in place now. I think on a really good path right now. And I've got a lot of hope that the city is going to continue to make strides. It's a big project. There's this Black fiction writer, her name is Octavia Butler, who said, slow resistance is the path. And so I'm praying for slow resistance for my hometown to climb out of the hole that it's in.
What did you do in Baltimore as a kid? Were you a sports guy, music guy? What did you do?
I was always a sports guy. I was small growing up. I mean, I thought I was going to be a jockey. I thought I was going to be racing in the Preakness at Pimlico.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer. Late bloomer. I was into sports, always into sports. So it was basketball because that's the urban game. So I was growing up playing basketball, and funny enough, I loved baseball. I loved the Baltimore Orioles, and I wanted to be a baseball player.
Did you?
Yeah, I was literally all glove, no hit. Couldn't hit. Oh, yeah, I could play defense. But I grew up playing Little League baseball, brother. But it was all sports. I wrestled in high school because I was just trying to figure out a way to meet girls, and I wasn't good enough to make the basketball team. I wasn't good enough to make the baseball team, but I was just trying to find a way, man. So I started wrestling. That was a humiliation.
At what point did the radio bug bite you?
Oh, man, that was about 12, 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
I was a transistor radio kid. I don't know when I got my first transistor radio, but I did, and I was listening to Baltimore Orioles games, and I fell in love with a couple of announcers in Baltimore, Chuck Thompson and Bill O'Donnell, Hall of Famers in the Broadcast Hall of Fame. They were just amazing, and I think about those guys a lot at various times in my career. Like, because of their inspiration, I'm able to do the stuff that I've been able to do, and I just sort of stuck with it. But I just dreamed of being able to do what they did, and then I found kind of commercial radio with some stations in Baltimore and some announcers in Baltimore, folks like Bob Green and Johnny Dark in Baltimore. They were huge stars in radio in Baltimore, and I would listen to them, and I knew that, in order for me to do what they were doing, I'd have to make some changes in my game, right? I'd have to get rid of the Baltimore accent, or at least sort of take the edges off it and refine it a little bit.
What were you listening to musically at that time?
My first job in radio was working at an oldie station. So I was like 17. How old was I? I was 19 years old, and I was playing, Sam Cooke and Al Green, right?
How'd you get that job?
I was working in a restaurant in Baltimore, and the program director of a radio station came to have dinner at our restaurant. I waited on his table. I gave him his check, and he gave me a job.
What?
That's it. That's how it happened.
What?
Yeah. He said, well, are you going to school? Yes. And what are you doing? I said, well, I want to be in radio. I want to be a broadcaster. And he says, okay. He paid me and gave me his number, and he gave me a job.
No kid. Wow.
But wait a minute, Jeff, you know the person.
I do?
Yes. You know the person who gave me the job, who ultimately brought me to Cleveland, where I met you.
Eric?
Yes.
No kidding.
Are you hearing this for the first time?
I didn't know that was Eric Stone.
Yes.
At the restaurant.
At his table.
What was he, the program director? What station?
Yeah, he was a program director of WSID. WSID was in the basement of this building, and it was a part of United Broadcasting. We both worked at United Broadcasting when I got to Cleveland and joined you. Eric was the program director for WSID in Baltimore. He brought his girlfriend to the restaurant where I was working. It was a rib shack. I literally worked through his meal, took care of him, gave him the check. He gave me the job at WSID.
Were you a waiter at the rib shack?
I was a waiter. I will tell you what I got out of that experience. It's the ability to sort of think on your feet and on the fly.
Right.
No one's better at that than you. I mean, that's like one of the hallmarks of your career. I've always said to you, you are one of the few people that I know who can turn nothing into something entertaining. So that's what I learned in my time in the restaurant business, was to kind of think on my feet, make people laugh, or develop a bit of a personality, or know a little bit about a lot of different things. I could get a better tip.
Okay, I could get a better tip.
And I got good tips, brother.
Yeah, man. They had no idea what you were going to be.
What they were giving birth to, the monster they were creating.
I just love the genesis of how a career starts and where it goes. That's just amazing.
That's it. I was at the college radio station, and my persona was Dr. Funkenstein.
That was your name on the air?
Yeah, I was Dr. Funkenstein.
Is that because of your love of funk?
That's it.
That's your music right there.
Say it, baby, say it.
Did you ever see the mothership land?
Of course I did.
You did?
I went to the Baltimore Civic Center. 77. That was the big tour, right? That was the Mothership Connection
That's
tour.
the big tour.
Swing down, sweet cherry, stop in. Let me ride.
How did that affect you?
There were probably 3 concerts that really affected me. Mom took me to see James Brown, right?
Wow.
Yes. And we were really close. There were a lot of hot, sweaty people dancing around me.
That's a James Brown show.
Because James was putting that funk down. There was a James Brown concert, Parliament Funkadelic, right? Mothership Connection tour.
Yeah.
Messed me up, blew me away.
Yeah.
And then Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh!
That's it.
Well, that's all you need.
That's the troika.
There you
Those
go.
3 shows. I was done.
Now you're ready to get on the radio. There you go.
Yeah. And that's when it started, brother.
You went by Dr. Funkenstein in college. I love it, man. That's great. So you're on the air. You're in Baltimore. You're doing the overnight show?
So I worked for 3 radio stations at the same time, all in the company that we worked at together. It was United Broadcasting. So I was doing dayside at WSID because it was a daytime station, which means at sunset, it switched off. And then I was working overnights at the rock station, WLPL. And then on weekends, I was working at OK100.
Yeah.
OK100 in Washington, D.C.
You were doing the thing. Now you're in radio. Now you're really grinding.
Yeah. And loving it.
And you're loving every bit of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So who pulled you out of Baltimore? How did you get to Cleveland?
I got fired.
And as we continue this conversation, this will be a reoccurring thread.
I got fired from all three at the same time.
Oh, no.
I just figured I was the number one draft choice. I really didn't know anything, but I thought I did.
We all did at that time.
And then Eric Stone says, come on up to Cleveland. And so I throw everything I own in a busted, rusted Datsun B210. You remember Datsuns?
I'll never forget that car you had.
Now Nissans.
Yeah.
Datsun back in the day.
Was that your first big move?
Yeah, that was the first big move. Yeah.
That was your big move out of Baltimore into a whole nother city.
And then I meet you. This crazy road show that we've been on started.
Yeah. What a road show. Now, you're in Cleveland now. You're at WJMO, which is a legendary AM station in Cleveland. But when you got to Cleveland, what shift were you doing?
I thought I went immediately to mornings, but you reminded me that I started in the afternoons.
You sure did. Right.
I enjoyed that, actually. I really enjoyed the afternoons.
You were great.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Tony was a great radio guy.
You're kind. You're kind.
Tony Harris would do things that would just make the city go upside down and just drive the general manager crazy at the same time. You know, that's why he would continually get fired.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
This is what he did, and it was a fireable offense. It really was. He gets on the air. He gets on the air, and he tells the folks that we have no water at the radio station, that the water level is low.
Right.
And there are people here at the station that are sick. These are sick people.
Kidney issues.
Right.
Dialysis.
Right. He's on the air saying this, you know, and everybody's listening and believing it. So they start bringing jugs and bottles of water. I mean, by the droves. It's just, and so I came into the station and I said, where's all this water everywhere? There's bottles and jugs everywhere. They said, Tony. I said, what did he do? He told everybody we had no water. Of course, the station had plenty of water.
Plenty of water.
So when the general manager couldn't even get through the door because of the jugs and the water blocking his office door, he says, what is this?
Yeah.
They said, Tony. And so that's just one of the many things that Tony used to do to just shake up the place. I've never seen anybody put a long record on like Stay in My Corner by the Dells, which was 6 minutes and 44 seconds long. And I look out the window and there's Tony actually driving out of the parking lot while the record is playing. And the general manager saw Tony drive out. He came in the back. He said, who's on the air? And we say, Tony's on the air. Yeah. And I said, well, he said, I just saw him drive out the parking lot. Where were you going?
I was dropping my car off because I needed brakes or something. And there was a mechanic close by, and I just said, okay, well, let me put on Stay on My Corner, and let me drive on over there and run back. I got the time in my head, and fireable offense.
Oh, fireable offense. And eventually he did get fired from that job.
I did.
We staying too long in this radio game because his calling was television. And he always used to tell me, I got to get in TV. That's what he wants to do. In Cleveland, he got his first start in television. Now, walk us through how that started.
I got a call from a listener at JMO and was asking me about, things that I wanted to do in my career. And I said, ultimately, I want to get into television. She just happened to work at one of the stations in Cleveland and arranged for me to get an interview with the general manager, a legendary general manager in the city of Cleveland. Ultimately, he hired me. That got me going. I was doing just little weekend tips for a show called PM Magazine. The general manager gave me an opportunity to be a general assignment reporter in the news department. That went really well. And then when the co-host job opened up at PM Magazine,
you walked right in there.
I got the job, and that was a big deal. It's like one of my all-time favorite jobs.
No kidding.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that show.
Where did you go after PM Magazine?
I went to Entertainment Tonight in New York. That was huge.
And you had a ball doing that, didn't you? Before you got fired.
Yeah, I got fired there too. And can I tell you something? Jeff, you know this. If Entertainment Tonight hadn't come calling, I was going to get fired at PM Magazine too.
Wow, were you?
Yeah. That was going to happen there too. Just a knucklehead.
Entertainment Tonight, you had a chance to meet everybody though, didn't you?
Yeah, that was great. A young Denzel Washington.
Wow.
Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God.
Vito.
Yeah. You interviewed Elizabeth Taylor.
Come
on, man.
I know, it was ridiculous. And
Was this out of body at any point?
it was out of body because there are moments, and you know this because of the heights you've reached in your career. There are moments when you're doing the thing and you step outside of yourself and saying, am I here with the Elizabeth Taylor?
Exactly.
Is that really happening? You know, looking back on when I was a nappy-headed boy,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I switched to doing news at the time of the first Gulf War. I got the next national job, which was working for a magazine show in Los Angeles called Front Page. It was my first time in prime time, and those were pretty heavy days because I was in the thick of some really difficult storytelling, all the fun that I'd been having.
You're a newsman now.
I'm a newsman now. I'm a journalist now. That was a wonderful experience. That lasted for a couple of years. I started in Los Angeles and then moved with the show to New York. I didn't get fired. The show was canceled.
Right.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, I didn't get fired for that, but the show got fired.
Yeah. If the show hadn't been canceled, I would have been fired.
Yeah, I hear you. How'd you get to CNN?
Oh, I make an interim stop in Baltimore. I'm the main evening newscast anchor for a station in Baltimore. So I'm back home. I'm looking around for a new job, and Atlanta comes calling. And out of nowhere, I get a call from a guy who wanted to hire me while he was in Baltimore. And he's now working for CNN. He's the president of CNN, and he hires me at CNN. You've got to have those moments in your career because they push you and they stretch you into positions that are uncomfortable, that when you come out of it, you're just a different person than when you started. So at CNN, I felt completely out of my depth, over my head. I knew the anchoring stuff. I didn't have the knowledge of the world that is required of you to be a really good CNN anchor. You've got to know enough about the world for breaking news to happen essentially anywhere. And you're able to talk about it in an intelligent way for a minute, maybe a minute and a half until CNN does what it does.
You learned that there.
I learned that there. I learned how to do breaking news.
After CNN, in which you stayed for how long?
I was there for 6 years.
Yeah, that was a good run. I remember
that was a good run.
It was the triplets. It was Tony Harris, Don Lemon,
yes,
and T.J. Holmes. The three brothers on CNN at one time. I remember that.
And I always throw Frederica in that mix because Frederica was there. Yeah, I love Freddie. And Fred was there before I got there. And Freddie's still there now, just holding it down. And she's just been amazing for me arriving there and for her to still be holding it down in the way that she is. I always got to give mad props to Freddie. And Freddie's the first person who told me that Barack Obama could win the presidency. I didn't believe it.
She told you that. That's something.
She told
I
me
remember
that.
You told me that. You left CNN and then you went overseas. And what was that job?
I went to work for Al Jazeera English. That's in Doha, the capital of Qatar.
Boy, that's a long way from Baltimore, isn't it?
That's a long, long way from Baltimore. That's one of the real blessings of this career is that if you're lucky and you can have a long career, it can take you to places you never dreamed of.
Well, you're learning the world now, aren't you?
I'm absolutely learning the world, and I'm there at a time of real strife. It was 2011, and Egypt and so much of the Middle East and North Africa was on fire, Syria. Everything that I had learned during my time at CNN, I had to call upon to get through those 2.5, almost 3 years in the Middle East during the Arab Spring. That job really took me in a different direction and changed the trajectory of my career. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And as we fast forward now, you can see Tony Harris on the History Channel. Unbelievable. This guy's career is just incredible. The show is called The Proof is Out There.
So, yeah, I've been doing a show for History Channel now for, 5 years now called The Proof is Out There. That's been a crazy ride. It's got us in the unexplained space. I share that space with Lawrence Fishburne, our guy Shatner.
Dan Aykroyd, too, right?
Aykroyd's in that space right now. Ving Rhames has just joined us. It's been great. I didn't expect to be there. The audience that loves that material is crazy for it. So that's 5 seasons. We're going to do a 6th season of The Proof is Out There. We've got a couple of spin-off shows from that as well. And I've done one show for A&E. I am blessed. I'm busy.
Yes.
We're of a certain age, young fella. And so we've had whole careers. So.
You sound like the character you used to do on the radio called Geezer. I heard him coming out a little bit. Give us a little bit. Come on.
All I want to say is, Jeff, it's great to talk to you.
I think you're just getting younger and better. I'm just getting older and sleepier.
Tony, you've had a career, and your career is still thriving and more surprises at every turn. You just got to be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. You've always got something new happening. It's just exciting. You know, we've been doing this a long time, and the excitement level has not stopped for us.
Well, all I can tell you is this, and I'm cutting you off because that's too much.
Okay.
All I can tell you is you're lucky if you have someone in your life that you can take that ride with, and you have been there for all of it. I just, I am so proud of you and your career and what you've done, and now what you're doing on the music front. You've had all this music in you for as long as I've known you, and to find vehicles to express it, what you've done with your band, and to put out your first album. You've got some slaps on that thing, so congratulations to you, and I hope people just sort of go to your site, pick up the music, turn it on in the car, and enjoy the spring and summer with variations. So look, make it happen.
Appreciate it. How do folks get in contact with Tony? Got to follow you. You're doing so much.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm at Tony Harris MM. That's Tony Harris MM. And I think I'm on Facebook. I don't post a lot, but I like a lot.
Right.
I observe. If you want to reach me, that's where I am. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook.
It's kind of crazy to talk to somebody you know so well. It's weird, man. It's weird, man.
It's a little weird. Yeah, 'cause it can go into 1,000 different directions.
I'm telling you.
Just like that.
It's hard to hone in, you know what I mean?
Yes.
He is Tony Harris.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right. We had a good time today. And thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Jeff Foxx Show Behind the Mic podcast, a conversation with my good friend Tony Harris from the History Channel. The proof is out there. And remember, you can also check out the nationally syndicated Jeff Foxx radio show, bringing you the best in music, culture, and conversation every day. You can also stream us online. Just look for the Jeff Foxx Show affiliates and pick your station. Thank you so much. You take care, and we'll talk to you next time.
We got the vibe, we got the flow. Jeff Foxx, taking you behind the mic, keeping you in the know. Where the real stories are told, where the truth and the soul unfold. Now you know, it's the Jeff Foxx Show. Behind the Mic podcast.
The Jeff Foxx Show Behind the Mic podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcast.